Welcome to Richard Talks. Today I will be talking about the mono graphite rupture disc. A mono disc is a single component graphite rupture disc, so hence its mono model designation. To make a disc from graphite, the first operation is to machine the basic geometry of the disc from graphite rods or similar raw graphite material. In the world of rupture discs, the first law that applies to all discs, regardless of type and material, is to produce an impermeable barrier about which a differential pressure can be created. Graphite, in the form that ZOOK receives it in, has a porous structure, equivalent to some 8 to 14% porosity depending on the grade of graphite we purchase. Effectively, we start with a dense black sponge. So in order to meet the first law of rupture discs, we need to render this graphite sponge to an impervious material. ZOOK implements an impregnation process with phenolic resin, which is a proprietary operation that includes multiple vacuum, pressure, and special thermal curing cycles. Once the impregnation process is complete, then the impervious graphite material is machined to produce the finished graphite disc that has been ordered by the client. Now I'm hearing you say, why use graphite as a material of construction for a rupture disc? Now that's a very good question. In the early days of rupture discs, the only materials that were being used were metals. Metal has a high tensile strength, which meant that only medium to high pressures could be created for rupture discs. Now with graphite, with a low tensile strength, we can now apply this material for low pressure requirements on reactor and storage vessels needing a low pressure relief device. So with phenolic resin impregnated graphite, we now have created a low tensile strength material from which we can make graphite rupture discs. Graphite is a highly corrosion resistant material and can be used where there are aggressive fluids present. Graphite is an inert material that does not give ion contamination. That's ION, ion contamination, and has great temperature stability compared to metals. So to answer the original question, why use graphite as a material for rupture discs, impregnated graphite has a low tensile strength, it is inert, does not give ion contamination, is highly corrosion resistant, and has good temperature stability, making graphite a first-class solution. Eventually, metal rupture discs technology improved and lower rated pressures were made available. But today, graphite rupture discs play a very important part in providing an overpressure relief device solution. The graphite mono design is highly suited for low to intermediate pressure burst ratings from 0.25 to 150 psi or 0.17 to 10.3 bar, and is available from 1/2 inch to 24 inch or 6 mm to 600 mm nominal bore pipe size. The mono can be used in a variety of flange ratings from ASME B16.5 to ISO, DIN and JIS flanges. The ZOOK mono disc can be used from temperatures of -290 degrees Fahrenheit to 700 degrees Fahrenheit, or in metric terms -179 degrees Celsius to 371 degrees Celsius. At these higher coincident temperatures, ZOOK uses a special temperature shield to ensure that the operation of the disc is under safe conditions. Here I have a ZOOK mono graphite disc. The pressure is applied into the recess or the counterbore of the disc. When we have reverse pressure or vacuum conditions onto the top side here, we have to support the membrane of the graphite disc. How do we do this? Well, we can apply a number of different methods. Here we have a cross support that will go into the bore and support against back pressure coming onto the membrane. Here I also have another type of vacuum support, and this is a plate style type of vacuum support. This is for much lower pressure ratings of the disc. ZOOK can also supply the gaskets that are necessary for the installation of a ZOOK graphite mono disc. Gaskets can be supplied in materials that are commonly used today, such as non-asbestos, PTFE, Viton rubber, etc. Here, the gasket has been applied to the inlet side of the monodisc with the pressure coming in this direction. On the outlet side, however, the gasket dimensions are of critical importance. If the bore, the ID of the gasket, is too small, it will interfere with the way that the graphite disc ruptures. If you are supporting the membrane by having a smaller ID, then the burst rating of the monodisc will be much higher. So it is critical you have the correct size gaskets, and I implore that when you buy monodiscs from ZOOK, you buy them with the gaskets attached. At ZOOK, we stock a large number of monodiscs with varying pipe sizes and rated burst pressures, all available for immediate dispatch. The ZOOK mono resin impregnated graphite disc is certified for use in ASME, UD, and PED CE installations. Further information on the ZOOK monodisc is available on our website. Thank you very much for listening to Richard Talks.